Welcome to another painting tutorial. In this one we're going to look at the new Orc and Goblin finecast Mangler Squigs. So here's what the squigs look like all done. They're on a 60mm round base and going to be pretty cool on the tabletop. It's a rather expensive kit, especially considering the points that they cost in the army list. But as you can see, it's meant to be a centerpiece for your army, and it's quite a large model. So here's some of the paints that I used, or actually probably all of them. So the main squigs are this bloodstained red, clotted red, carnage red sort of look. I did the same thing with Skarsnik and Gobla, and so I thought I'd keep the same sort of look with this squig. For the goblins' capes and cloaks or whatever, for the night goblins, I used Stormcover Gray, highlighted with Coldstone Gray, and then washed with Bad Black to get back down to a black sort of a look. For all the chains that are metal, I used Bolt Gun Metal, washed with Devlin Mud, Bad Black, and then rehighlighted with Bolt Gun. For the goblin skin, just Gretchen Green, Thraka Green wash, and then a bit more Gretchen Green on top of that. All the ropes I base coated with Caltham Brown, the Devlin Mud, and then used this leather brown triad from Reaper. The teeth and any sort of claws were base coated with Kemery Brown, Bad Black, and then given this bone triad. And then the tongue on the Mangler Squigs was done with this. These two here are actually out of order. But anyways, Blood Red, Fire Red, Phoenix Red. The mushrooms were done with Deneb Stone, and the bleached bone on the teeth of the goblins. That's about it. These, in general, were pretty straightforward, pretty quick to paint. The gluing it all together is a bit tricky. I used some super glue accelerator. There's another video that I show that. But here it is, all base coated with a black spray paint. And now I'm putting on that Carnage Red or Clotted Red, whichever one it is, the darkest one there, covering up all the squigs. And now you notice if you were to look closely at that goblin inside there, the heavy metal one actually is different. And somebody pointed this out on my YouTube channel that they cast it slightly differently for the production one versus the one that you see in the pictures. Anyways, I'll point that out again at the end, but that guy there inside the squig's mouth is a little bit different. Okay, so I'm just working up the highlights. I kind of used dry brushing for this, pretty much, and then I touched it up after I finished up all the other areas. So now this is the Bolt Gun Metal base coat going on all the metal bits. And you can see the guys hanging off there. Now we got Caltham Brown. Oh, actually, I guess I must use Caltham Brown instead of Kemery Brown. I usually use Kemery Brown for the base on teeth and stuff, but I just use Caltham Brown on everything here. And you can see not being too careful with that. Goblin Green. So any of the areas that I haven't painted yet, I can kind of be sloppy, but all the brown areas and stuff, I'm trying to be careful with how that goes on. There's that blood red Reaper paint going on the tongue there. And at this point, there's that Cold Stone dark gray. And at this point, I've pretty much done all the base colors as well as some of the highlights on the squigs, and I'm ready to do lots of washes. Okay, so Bad Black is going on there as well as on all these chains, and all on here as well, you can see. And now I've got the Devlin Mud coming through these teeth, and it's going to go on all the metal bits as well to sort of darken them up a lot. So all the ropes and everything there's getting all that Devlin Mud, as well as this stuff here, and these mushrooms that were base coated with the Deneb Stone. Okay, and you can see there's the Thraka Green going on the flesh there, and you can see how that Bad Black brings down those cloaks. I find that trying to do the grays is pretty tricky, so I kind of highlight them, then I bring it back down with Bad Black. Okay, so it's greens. Now I'm starting to highlight these teeth, so that's with that Reaper Bone Triad. And you can see the layers coming up here, and then the lightest color will just get kind of on the ends of these teeth. There's that goblin in there. If you look closely at the one on the GW site, it's actually a separate piece, and you can tell by the fingers. So in here, the casting isn't great, and I didn't touch it up too much. But I'm not sure exactly how they did it differently. If they just had a big empty spot in there that you could fit the guy in, or if this whole front piece was a different cast. I can't quite tell. But there's definitely something that they changed there. Here's the overall thing. So I re-highlighted the silver bits with a bit of bolt gun and probably a little bit of chainmail I think I used as well, and re-highlighted some of the squig flesh areas with that brighter orange kind of a look, just to help bring out some of the texture there, and any of the paint that wore off as I was handling it. Lots. A little bit of static grass on the base and some of those tufts from Army Painter, and all ready to go. So I'm not sure if I've included them, but if you check my blog, I'll show you some comparison shots if they're not in this. But pretty cool model. Overall, though, I would say I was disappointed with the chains. That some of the details just didn't render very well. I don't know if that was a poor casting that I got, or if everybody's had the same experience. But it is a cool looking model. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that for the price that it was, it's the same price as the Ragnarok, I think, and just not quite to the same quality as the plastic models. But no less, really neat. And here's some of the other details close up. And yeah, so this guy here, if you look at the GW one, slightly different, and things like a couple bubbles on the fingers, and here and there I had a couple pinhole bubble type things. It's a little disappointing, but comes with the territory, I guess, nowadays. Some of the detail on the base, so a couple of those tufts, I think I put 3, one over there as well. Lots going on here. And that's it. Yeah, so check my blog for some comparison shots. You'll see how large this thing is. I've got them besides Skarsnik as well as a giant. And hope you enjoyed it. Leave me some comments and let me know what you think, if you have one, or what your opinion is on this one. Talk to you next time.